A very good day to you. I hope you had yourself an amazing Wednesday. It is the 7th of August 2024, 19:07 East African time. And this is the Black Hot Fire updates with me, Dimori, of course. I'm going to be telling you about each and everything that was happening throughout the whole of Africa. And for today, we are also going to be looking at especially the 1998 US Embassy bombing. And you might wonder, why are we looking at something that happened in 1998 and yet we are in 2024? So it happened today. It was on a day like this many years ago, 26 years ago. That was when the Kenyan US Embassy, the US Embassy in Kenya was bombed. It wasn't just in Kenya, but also the US Embassy in Tanzania was bombed on a day like this 26 years ago.
Another truck bomb detonated outside the US Embassy at 10:30 a.m. local time on August 7th, 1998, a massive truck bomb exploded outside the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi's CBD. Minutes later, another truck bomb detonated outside the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam in neighboring Tanzania.
That's right. Now, the twin terrorist attacks carried out by Al-Qaeda killed more than 224 people, wounding more than 5,000. Now, on tonight's National Reminder, our very own Victoria Rubadiri takes us through the events that followed and what's transpired now 23 years on. Take a look.
It was one of Kenya's darkest days. A horrifying terrorist attack at the United States Embassy on the corner of Moi and Helsalasi Avenues would not just permanently change a portion of the landscape of Nairobi's CBD, but the psyche of Kenyans.
People really should sort their problems without terrorizing others. How do you expect this to support from people of Kenya? Kenya has always lived in peace. Again,
this was the then president back then, Moi. A few years before he retired. This was in 1998. He retired in 2002. So it was 4 years before he retired. He was in his last tenure when the bombing happened. It has to be one of the worst terrorist attacks that we've seen in Kenya. Looking at the number of people who died, looking at the impact it had, and of course, the fact that it was later linked to Al-Qaeda. I don't know how true that is. We're going to be looking at that later. The claims that it was Al-Qaeda who did the bomb blast in Kenya and in Tanzania, trying to send a message to the US. However, we're going to look at how the same US reportedly ignored intelligence information. There were people, for example, I'm going to be telling you about the story of a woman who claims that she had information on the bomb blast, and he reported the same before it happened, but it was ignored. So we're going to be looking at all that. 26 years later, it was on a day like this, on the 7th of August 1998, that we had perhaps Kenya's most fatal terrorist attack to date.
No one. Why should they target Kenya?
Over 200 Kenyans died in the deadly blast, with another 5,000 plus injured, many of them maimed and blinded. Following thorough investigations, U.S. federal agents determined that Al-Qaeda was responsible. This, many victims hoped, would be the beginning of their path to justice. More than 20 people were charged in connection with the bombings. Some are serving life sentences in the U.S. Others who were not detained have been killed, notably Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
A long quest to compensate the over 5,000 victims would be riddled with fits and starts. Reports back in 2010 that the American government planned to compensate victims up to 880 million shillings if a U.S. judge ruled in their favor offered some hope. However, by August 2013, 15 years after the attack, that hope was fading. it emerged there would be a challenge with collecting the proceeds from the U.S. government. The payments would come from assets seized from Al-Qaeda. That would further delay the process that sought to compensate about 500 Kenyans, being represented by American lawyer Philip Mussolino.
So the US government told those who are seeking compensation that they were going to compensate them from the assets and the things that they seized from Al-Qaeda. So they had to wait until they had sold or converted whatever they had seized from the Al-Qaeda into money so that they can send it to Kenya. I can assure you they have never been compensated for anything.
What was it?
Come again?
What was it about? What, the 98 goddamn embassy collapse?
Yeah, it was the 1990. It's the 1998 one. It happened on a day like this. So today was the memorial. 26 years
there
later.
Was no Al-Qaeda. That was American government. That doesn't CIA, no fucking Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is the American. Al-Qaeda is the American government. They created Al-Qaeda. They created that. It's called the data. Al-Qaeda means the database, the base. They created that big terrorist group. So I did. We gotta wait till we find out about Al-Qaeda. Give some money back to these goofy niggas in Kenya. Nah. They're not gonna get no money. I'm intending to give no money. It was a message sent to whoever was present then. You get your fucking mind right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it did. That's what the fuck of that damn happened there and Tanzania. You get your goddamn mind right.
And here he was immediately after the attack. He visited the site, and you can see how traumatized even himself he was. I know he was, because more than 200 people died. We've never had a terrorist attack of that margin in Kenya.
Escape of Nairobi's CBD, but the psyche of Kenyans.
People really should sort their problems without terrorizing others. How do you expect this to support from
weak he sound? That's why they don't expect these guys. You know how weak he sound? They should sort their problems without terrorizing others. Shut your weak ass up. Sound weak and fucking stupid. Sound weak. Instead of saying you're going to go and apprehend the people that did it, they should sort their problems out. I know we don't have a real military ever built shit to really do anything. They should sort their problems out without terrorizing other people. Shut your weak ass up.
And by the way, after this attack, he never vied again. It was the last tenure. After this, he resigned. That is, he retired in 2002. He did not vie.
Who was he? Who was this?
Moi.
Moi. This puppet ass nigga. They should shut up, moron. They should sound weak as hell.
I don't know if this had anything to do with him retiring from politics. I don't know, but after being in power for 24 years after this attack, he did not vie again, and he ended up endorsing Uhuru to be his to take over from him.
His successor, of course, because they were all collected in with the same group of criminals at the beginning of the country. All these criminal ass niggas. You know why they would do this? They do it because you're weak and stupid. That's why, dummy. It sounds stupid. They're saying like most white people say, hey, we're gonna find out who did it. We're gonna punish the shit out their ass. We're doing it. You know, only Africans. Well, we're gonna say, why would they do this? And what? Shut up. You gotta sound weak all the time.
It's. I mean, as a leader, you should not be pulling the victim mentality card. You should never be.
Oh shit!
You're the leader. You're supposed to be the commander in chief of whatever.
How about that? All force you got. Don't sound like no weak ass, bitch ass coward. They don't understand why they do this and why do they do terrorist things. They use it because you're weak and they're not afraid of your stupid ass. That's why. Why they use it?
Kenya has always lived in peace against no one. Why should they target Kenya?
Because I want to. Because you're weak and peaceful. That's why. I'm not gonna do terrorists against people that can fuck me up. That would be stupid. Shit. I'm not gonna do terrorists against people I might think and come back and hurt my ass.
And
Kenyans died in the deadly blast, with another 5,000 plus injured, many of them maimed and blinded. Following,
Joby actually thinks it was a warning to Moi because of it's like they didn't want him anymore, so it was more of a warning to him. And I do agree with her because, as I said, after this,
It probably was.
he never vied again. As a man who had been in power for 24 years, then
Yeah, he just don't step down for nothing.
Yeah, it was unlikely he retire from politics. And at that time, the precedents that had been set by other African leaders, especially the founding presidents, was that they were ruling until they died or could. This one retired. So might be that was the reason they wanted to send a message to him. It was the Tanzanian president at that time. Was it Julius? Was it Mwalimu? Yeah, it was Mwalimu Julius Nyerere.
Yeah, but you listen to that instead of president back in '98? I don't know. I don't think so.
Let me check.
I don't think so. I think his old ass had retired by then, or was dead. I think just that it was dead by then.
Let me see.
I think he was already dead and stinking.
in thorough investigations, U.S. federal agents determined that Al-Qaeda was responsible. This, many victims hoped, would be the beginning of their path to justice. More than 20 people were charged in connection with the bombings. Some are serving life sentences.
The president then was not Nyerere, it was Benjamin Mkapa.
I figured that. I think, yeah, because he's been dead. I think he died like in 92 or 91 or something. Some shit like that. So I knew it wouldn't. Yeah, I knew it couldn't have been him. But anyway, on to get that, they're gonna talk about Seto saying that you are lying to Moray. Seto said there's no way Uganda's more. He said there's no way that Uganda's more drunk and fucked up than Kenya. He said, are you insane? Kenya's known for being Kenya's known for being drunk and fucked up. I said, I gotta get when you at Jimmy Joe, wait for Jimmy Joe to show up. He said, you're crazy. He said, we know that Kenya started drinking like at 15 or 16.
Ask them about Waragi.
I said we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out Tuesday when we do the special, because I knows to us that goddamn Seto was arrested for brewing illicit brews and shit.
In Kenya, we never drink alcohol on pots. We never drink with we never drink.
Tell them Moray when Seto said he's lying. Seto said there's no way Uganda can drink with no goddamn Kenya. I said, okay. I was told different. Let me find out. You know, even after.
Listen, there is no day that you're ever going to find Kenyans sitting around a pot drinking on straws, men and women combined. No, we drink liquor on bottles. They don't. He
said they do that, but that's rare. They're not. They said all of Kenya gets fucked up.
Do you know how much liquor was in Uganda? So there was a bottle called Kasese. You can ask Seto about Kasese. Kasese is 500 Ugandan shillings. That is 20 Kenyan shillings. 20 bob. That is 20 cents for a bottle of liquor in Uganda. You don't get alcohol that cheap in Kenya. So that's what makes them drunk. And I don't know, maybe it was the area that I was, maybe it was I lived in a town called Safia, then in the border, and then in Kampala I used to go to a place called Kiwatule. So maybe it was the areas that I was. Maybe Setu is from the posh areas in Uganda, I don't know, but where I was, those people would drink at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. in Safia, they were drunk. You wake up and they're all drunk. So I don't know. The big shout out to Jiba Jaba, who's in here. I think I lost Keith. Jiba Jaba is saying, Nah, you all drink it out of a bag. Ask Spike.
Says in the U.S., others who were not detained have been killed, notably Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
A long quest to compensate the over 5,000 victims would be riddled with fits and starts. Reports back in 2010 that the American government planned to compensate victims up to 880 million shillings if a U.S. judge ruled in their favor offered some hope. However, by August 2013, 15 years after the attack, that hope was fading.
Hold on. I'm back. That's
asking me, were you in the Kenyan part of Uganda? I think on one of these days.
Yeah. All right. He said, no way, kid. No way Ugandans drink like Kenyans. He said, even though he worked in a illicit brew shop, we had to get, but he said, Seto said he had to get in there butt naked because it was so hot. Crank that illicit brew.
Has Seto been to Kenya?
Seto said, well, yeah, he's been. Seto said, why we got to get butt naked?
What part of Kenya was Seto in? I would like to know what part of Kenya Seto in.
I don't know. You got to ask him. I don't know. He asked the guy, he said, why we got to get naked? You'll find out because it gets so hot. He said they was in there from 4 o'clock in the morning to 10 p.m. I said, God damn, Seth, don't take that long to make that shit. Man, we making so much of that stuff. Man, listen, Bruce. The one day the police came and knocked on the door. And we called the guy and said, hey, the police are here. He said the guy cut off the phone. He said the guy cut off the phone, the police took him to jail. He said, hey, the police are here. He cut the phone off on their ass.
I'll join one of the shows with Setu. Talk about alcohol in Uganda because
listen, Bruce said nah. He said nah, Keith, the more he's lying. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way we drink more than Kenyans. Kenyans stay fucked up. I said, God damn. God damn. I said, well, at least you're not going blind. I said, the more he shared a story with me, when people went blind with their illicit brews in Kenya. I said, Seto, you guys are making nobody blind. What was the ingredients you guys are using? He said, some kind of lemon and some other shit. I said, did you ever taste it? He said, yeah, that shit was too strong for me. I said, damn. I said, Seto, you worked at...
The reason alcoholism is so big in Uganda is because, one, liquor is too cheap there. Like with $1,
it was cheap as shit. He said the shit they was making, said this shit it was cheap. It was so cheap. Yeah. I guess I said that's called moonshine, Seto. He said I didn't even get paid. We got locked up. I said, damn, Seto, that was your moonshine career. You got locked up. So you go, I said, why everybody naked up in here? It got so hot.
I actually had to try and look for data to compare the alcoholism in Kenya and Uganda. And let me see. I was taking that on ChatGPT to see if it can give me. Of course, the data may not be factual, but it's what we have. So it says, based on the available data, Uganda generally has higher levels of alcohol consumption compared to Kenya. Listen. Uganda has one of the highest per capita alcohol consumption in Africa. It's the third highest in Africa.
Damn.
Heavy episodic drinks. So it goes on to say, and its heavy episodic drinking rates are notably higher. While
Damn,
Kenya, Uganda is the third worst. Is the third highest levels of alcohol consumption in Africa. I want to know which is the first and the second. Has to be Nigerian.
The first would probably be Nigeria or Ghana.
Let me see. Let me see.
Maybe South Africa.
South Africa. Might be South Africa. If I was living in South Africa, I would be drunk too.
Yeah, that's what they stay. They stay fucked up in drugs because they got no hope. It's a hopelessness. So.
South Africa is the highest actually. Then Nigeria, then Uganda.
I figured that. So yeah, so you got the hopeless countries and shit. You got there South Africa and Nigeria. That explains it. I wish they fucked up. Shit. You got some of that illicit. You got some of that illicit brew, nigga. Yeah, I got a bunch of it. So that's why you was in an illicit brew with a job, Sento, because of Uganda. Demore never was in the cooking no illicit brew. Your ass was.
I understand some of, for example, so I said if I was South Africa, I would be drunk too. If I was in Nigeria or Gambia, I would black out. I would make sure I'm blacked out. Because there's no way I'm staying sober with Tinubu as my president.
You can't fight no revolution always fucked up, Demore.
Wake me up when the revolution is done. I'm Gambian.
See, and they did admit what Demore said yesterday. Remember, Jibba Jabba, they said there's abundance amount of food, so it's hard to do a revolution in Uganda when everybody's stomach is full and drunk. So they fucked up and full. It's hard for black people to do a revolution. They drunk and got a lot of food. Even though they poor, like, oh man, I know I'm poor, but goddamn, I'm drunk and I'm full. Shit. Revolution for what, nigga?
Yep. Especially because, especially in Uganda, those people do not have any stress. I mean, have you seen Ugandan bananas? Those things are big. Their lands are fertile, and I don't think they use as much GMO as we do.
Nah, they don't even grow. They don't use the fertilizer either. That's where Maria's at down on the farm right now. My sister's back in Kampala. She's down at her family's farm. They don't use those damn herbicides and pesticides. Yeah. So you're right. So they say it's hard to get up for a revolution if your stomach's not touching your backbone and you're fucked up. Yeah, you may be poor, but goddamn, I'm poor and I'm fucked up. Drunk shit. Revolution for what, nigga? Revolution.
Some revolutions have to happen on an empty stomach, so that is
why. Right. All right. You got to feel some kind of pain, Demore. You want to change shit. You ain't trying to change nothing. Your belly's still full. Shit. You know. You ain't trying to get. You're not trying to get shot in the head, Demore, and your belly full. Revolution, smavolution. I'm full, nigga. Stomach, my belly full. So they did admit what Demore said that there's too much food everywhere in Uganda.
Yeah, like Mercy have too much food, and Sebo, they call each other Sebo. Those Sebos have so much food.
That's that's it. So they did admit that, but it was funny to my. Well, we're gonna get what said. Nah, Demore lied. There's no drinking and drunk motherfuckers in Kenya than Uganda. I said, nah. He said it's worse in Uganda.
The WHO, which is actually not even a good site for us to look at data, has some data on the alcohol consumption in Africa, and it's even worse than me because it puts Uganda at #1. There.
God damn! You went from 3 to 1.
According to the WHO, Uganda is up there.
That's why I said to you was butt naked, working in that goddamn. He just said to someone, said to had me laughing. Said, I need a job. I said, I got a job for you. And then we went to somebody's house. I said, what kind of brewery is this in somebody's house? I said, Sento, you didn't know you was making moonshine, man. I didn't know. I said, why is it a brewery in somebody's house? I said you were making illicit brew, Santo.
But
He
yeah,
said,
I
didn't
don't know. I don't know what I've never asked you this. I don't know what you think about it. But we actually had traditional African. I don't know whether to call it alcohol, but there were drinks that I saw my grandfather make. And by the way, they would make it out of honey and
beer. It's African beer.
Yeah, so he would drink that every day and sing songs, and he had about 16 kids and 2 wives. And you know,
see, that kind of beer is not bad. It's actually because honey's healthy for us. Honey is medicinal. It actually helps. So yeah, that's African. How they got that? That's African beer. More that goes back hundreds of thousands of years, coming out of Kemet and Sudan today and West Africa. That was all over Africa with the honey. Yeah, that's called African beer. It actually was healthy for you. Even though it got you fucked up, it was healthy. it was actually healthy. It would get you fucked up, but it was healthy. It was like, so, yeah, that's a different kind of beer. Yeah, you gonna look that up. Your brew, that brew your grandfather made goes back thousands of years. That shit. But the African might not like that. That might be too tame now. I don't want that shit. That's too tame. Fucking honey beer. Fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, it was honey and some other things. They would put some other. I've actually tasted it once. It was good. It is so sweet. It's sweet but still sour at the same time, and it still gets you drunk. But as Jiba Jaba is saying, it's probiotic. So how I wish as Africans, even as much as we want to get wasted and messed up, and because sometimes I do understand them. For example, I understand somebody from Gambia getting drunk. I mean, would you stay sober in Gambia, kid?
Yeah, I ain't trying to get fucked up. Me, I don't like escapism, Demore. I like to know what the fuck is going on and change the shit. That's why I'm drinking out. That's why we got bad alcohol in America. People want to escape. Black people known to escape. We got bad alcoholism in the black community in America because they want to escape because of poverty and racism and despair. Fuck that. I don't want to escape. I want to fight the shit. I want to goddamn what the fuck is going on? What the hell are we dealing with?
So in as much as we are, using what is originally ours, not, I don't know, the Guinness, not the imported alcohol that is made out of poison, really, but rather the traditional African drinks, because there are people who still know how to make them.
Yeah, if you do, because remember, because honey is medicinal, it's antibiotic, so that but the Africans might like, I don't want none of that shit. That's that tribal, that village shit. That ain't real alcohol. Actually, it is. It's actually better for you. But you didn't got rid of all your traditions. You said that white man told you it's evil. Yeah, it's evil. My granddad making honey and shit.
Yeah, I don't even think there's anything more natural than. Lately, I've been doing a lot of beekeeping, practically and theoretically. And I don't know if you know this, but honey tastes different according to the area that it is. For example, honey from drier regions will have a different taste from that in. Yeah, because honey, in, for example, drier areas, that means the plants there are acidic, a bit acidic, I would say, because now they have to deal with the lack of water. And so the honey there, you can actually tell where the honey came from. Honey does not taste the same. So honey is literally you eating the environment, like you are. And honey is the only food that you can live on. It's the only thing that you can live on. You can live on honey for 50 years without eating anything else.
Finally, you're going back to African knowledge. Are you evil? Are you wicked, Demore? You wicked ass nigga.
Yeah, honey is the only thing that you can eat, and it doesn't spoil, like Jiba Jaba is saying.
That doesn't spoil, right? Yep. If you get a real honeybee, the organic honeybees don't even sting. These are the ones that sting us now were actually genetically modified. But the real honeybee, I don't know how many we got left. They still might got some few in Africa. They don't even sting. it's a communal relationship with the beekeeper and the bees, the bee colony. Because if you understand, now I'm gonna get deep. Now I don't know what show you're talking about, Big Cheese. The one today, or what show you talking about, Big Cheese? I did with Joby. But anyway, if you want to go deep, if you want to understand how these white people and these other people were created, they were created like from insects. That's why the genetics starts with insects. That's why they have a hive mind. That's what they're trying to turn us back into, a hive mind, where they want you to all act the same way and do the same things. That's what the WHO and the WEF, World Economic Forum, is about. Because they were created, when you go back and learn about, well, no, it's good because we're not on Facebook. They took down that page, so I can be honest. When you go back and check the genetics, you always find out, you always see that the European, the Caucasian, the Asians, and the East Indians also have fucking insect genetics. Like, how's that possible? Because they were created to be a hive mind. There was one mind controlling all of them. They have a hive. That's why they all united. You say, why can't Africans be united? Because Africans are not hive mind people. You are the gods of the planet. You're individual soul, spiritual beings, individual gods. So it's hard for you to unite another god with you. You're a god. Once you go back to your god state, you are the generator, the creator, the generator, and the damn destroyer. So white people and other people can come together like an insect colony. I would say study a chimpanzee colony and an insect colony if you want to understand Asians, East Indians, and Caucasians. Go study. So from an insect, they take them to a chimpanzee. Go to the insect colony, a chimpanzee colony, to understand these people. You're like, motherfucker. All the answers are right in these colonies. Like, that's why they act the way they act. Yeah. It's genetics. So, yeah, but honey, so you keeping bees now, Tamore? Cool.
Yeah, I have several hives now.
God damn, that's awesome. Where you got them out? Where you got them up there in the mountains? Where you got them at? You got them in town?
In the village. No, in the village.
Yeah, figure that. Oh, cool as shit. Who takes care of them while you back in the city?
So let me tell you something interesting about beekeeping. It's called apiculture. You don't even need to take care of it. They take care of themselves. All you need to do is check them out about once a month. You check them about once a month, and you can harvest 3 cycles a year. That is, you can harvest up to 3 times in 1 year.
Yeah,
the only thing you need to do is make the hive so clean. Those bees love hygiene. If the hive is dirty, they won't occupy it at all. So that is all you need. And now we are using some modern hives, not the traditional one. There's a modern hive that. Are you guys extracting the honey and selling it? You got natural organic honey. I've not yet extracted the first one to sell. I've not done it for 3 months, really. I started the other day.
You started, That's money, man. You got natural honey. Natural honey is fucking expensive, man. All this fake ass
1 liter in Kenya is 1,000 bob. That's about $10 per liter in Kenya.
Well, that's good. That's expensive shit. Yeah, you can start selling that on the market. Organic honey, because it has so many medicinal properties. Honey does everything. Put that shit on sores, on wounds, all kind of shit. Antibiotic, eat it, all that shit. Drink it.
And I've come to know that it has unlimited market in Kenya. Like there's over demand, putting it simply. There isn't enough supply even in the Kenyan bee honey market.
Will you tell me how can we industrialize it and I'll help you make it bigger?
The apiculture?
Yeah, the motherfucking honey business. We're going to I'll take it as a party, we're going to make it bigger. Same way I did with Wallace down there with the eggs and the goddamn herbs, you know.
The modern hives cost about 6,000. The modern hive, when I say the modern hive, I mean it's a hive that has an excluder inside. So, there's a queen bee. The queen bee lies egg. So now the modern one has an excluder that prevents the queen from mixing with the other bees. So it can't lay eggs on the honey, because laying eggs on the honey messes up with its quality. So the queen is on one side and the other bees are on the other side. So pure, perfect honey quality. Then the hive is about 6,000. That's about $60 for one hive. $50 actually. And that gives you 3 cycles a year, 3 cycles of harvest a year.
6,000 Kenyan shillings?
Yep. $50.
So that's what I'm talking about. We get a bunch of hives, we figure out what markets we can exploit, how big can we expand the business, and we'll do. You do the research tomorrow. Bring me back the research. How many hives can we have that's not out of control? And then also do the research of the markets we can exploit of putting the honey at and make a profit. I'll go ahead and fund it.
Okay, kid, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna update you on that. I'm gonna do all the research and give you a report.
Do the research.
But I was telling me that you can even get honey soap as well, which is very good on your skin. Lip balm. Yep. And I don't know if you know this, even the honey used to be so valuable in the past, especially in Kimi, to a point that the reason it's called honeymoon, you take somebody on a honeymoon, was because when you got married, it was mandatory for you to give your wife honey. That was the room that you had to give that is why it's called honeymoon to date.
I didn't even know that. They taught me something. Yeah. I didn't know that. They still come from Africa, honeymoon. I didn't even know that shit. Okay.
And that was the gift that you had to give to your wife on your wedding day. Honey. It was so valuable back then. It still is. I know it still is. And as we come to the end of the show.
Still very valuable. If you got organic honey, So, yeah, still very valuable. So get that research for me tomorrow. We'll start that business.
Okay, Keith. As we come to the end of the show, today we were to talk about the U.S. Embassy. We did talk about it, but of course, we talk about everything here in Black Hot Fire. Went from the embassy to the honey to the bees.
The beekeeping. Got everything's got to go back to entrepreneurship, Moray. Yep. How do we make money, goddammit?
Yep. Yeah. So make sure you join Jovi in the next few minutes. She will be here on her show.
And we got to do the Black Hot Fire. And then let Big Cheese come back and tell me what show they talking about. The one today? I forgot what the hell me and Joe was even talking about today. Shit, I forgot.
Yeah, Big Cheese is talking about a show you had this morning where you were talking about, you and Joby were talking about tribalism.
You was listening, Damari?
No, I'm reading from Big Cheese. I didn't.
Oh, I know we're talking about tribalism and the
religion.
Yeah, I know we're talking about the religion, where it came from, the Abrahamic religion, and how the sun, how these moronic Christians don't understand that the sun, it's talking about the actual sun, and the 12 prophets are the goddamn zodiac signs. That's where you got 12 around the sun. That's why there's a group of 12. That's why Abram becomes Abraham. Abram comes from Brahmanism. It's the merging of Mithra worship, which was sun worship, with Hindu worship, and also a little bit of Zoroastrian. That's why I was showing Joby where the goddamn where Revelations came from before they created the religion, Asia Minor, which was Persia. The book of Revelations before it's not even Christian, it comes before Christianity, ancient African script. So how they merging all this shit together, Abram or Brahman becomes Abraham. That's where it came from. You don't get mad at me because you don't know shit. Abraham and Sarah. There was no motherfucker named no Abraham and no goddamn Sarah ever. Well, you can't find no fucking tombs of none of these people or graves and shit. They never existed. It was Brahman and Sarah from the Hindu religion that Constantine took from that shit. Then he took the Mithra worship from which was Rome, at the time, the sun worship, and merge that and make your goofy Christianity. So you understand what's going on when you talk about Christian, why Jesus died at 33. That's why all these Masons use 33. 33 is how many things you got in your spine. Spine is 33 vertebrae going up to your pineal gland. That's your heaven. The heel of your feet is hell. Top of your head is heaven. You're supposed to raise that energy from your goddamn pelvic all the way up to your Jacob's ladder. The spinal cord is called Jacob's ladder. All this goofy shit in your Bible is a metaphor. They took it from Africa. They made it real people that didn't exist. They took the metaphors and made it into people. So Jacob's ladder is the Kundalini energy going up your backbone, trailing up to your spine, up to your pineal gland, and becoming the Christ. That's the Christ. You are the Christ. When your Bible says, you are the Christ, you're like me, you'll do me and more. That's the metaphor. You are the Christ. There was no dirty cracking around in a dirty ass robe and fucked up sandals and shit. That's made up. Not some goofy cracker, with bad breath and a fucked up dirty robe. Didn't exist. You are the Christ, the Christos. That's why from Krishna, from that Hindu shit, you got Krishna, Christ. Buddha is a Christ. That's way before Jesus Christ was created. Understand, if you go back and actually understand history and research it, you'll see that whether Christianity was made up and this Islam shit was made up from. But a lot of people are too scared. They sit outside. Don't go crazy like the other guy Damori had on here. He went completely atheist. Don't go there. When you find out it's a lie, that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. The Creator doesn't exist. Don't go to the extreme. I'm an atheist. Fucking this shit's phony. Yeah. But it came from somewhere.
It came from the apes, like Darwin said.
He said what now? He said what?
He said that he came from the apes, the chimpanzees, like Charles Darwin said.
That's what I was saying. Dorsey believes it because he got traumatized when he found out that the religion wasn't real. So he went to the extreme. I understand that. You go to the extreme. But you should ever look around. Common sense to have you say this, Damori. We live in matter. Every around you is matter. Science teaches you matter, right? Matter. The desk is matter. The microphone is matter. Everything around. So knowing that matter could not create the mind, Damori. You have a mind. Matter doesn't create the mind. The mind creates matter. So something created the mind for you and over to create. So the mind had to create matter, what we see as matter. Things we touch, things we feel. Matter could not create the mind. So you know there's a creator. You should know, you might not know what the creator is and understand it, but common sense will let you understand through science that mind creates matter. Matter can't create the mind, Damori. The complications of the mind doesn't just happen. Happenstance. No, only mind creates matter, and we live in the mind of the all, of the creator. The all is creating this matter around us, creating this great illusion. That comes from the mind. Mind creates matter, not matter create mind. You can't have nothing abstract create the mind. Matter is abstract. So if you knew anything about science, you know that that's an impossibility. You can't get nothing. You can't get something from nothing.
Yeah.
That's what they tell you. Something came from nothing. That's a lie. You can't get nothing.
If you told him, let's now go back. You came from an ape. Let's go back. Where did the ape come from? He would disagree.
Exactly. Where they come from? Oh, they tell you no. They tell you it came from primordial waters. It came out the water.
Bang. They'll tell you the Big Bang.
But first the Big Bang, and then you was two. Then you was the cells, and the cells became together and climbed up out the water, start walking and then walking into the fish, and the fish became something else, and a rat, and a rat became a damn gorilla. Gorilla became a chimpanzee. It's all made up shit.
And you told that guy that the only Big Bang you want to hear is of him closing the door out.
Yeah, because if Africans came from a chimpanzee, Demore, why don't Africans have DNA of a chimp? We don't. Everybody else does. We don't. Africans don't have any chimpanzee or what they call hominid or ape genetics. So we couldn't come from an ape because you don't have that in your DNA. So where did African come from then? See, other people like the Europeans, they call it the Neanderthal genetic, right? Neanderthal is an ape. They got Neanderthal, the Europeans, the Asians, and the East Indians. But the African doesn't have any Neanderthal genetics. So there's no evolution from you. You didn't become no monkey and become no human because you don't got the genetics of that ape. See, that's what they want to study.
As we come to the end, so that I give Joby time to research for her show, Jiba Jaba says, shave a chimp. It's pink, not melanated.
Right. Pink inside, pink underneath that skin. It's got their hair and it has lights. Hell, Joke. Research Hell Joke has got a bunch of computers in there. She's good.
she's right here standing next to me.
Okay, I'll let you go. But yeah, so understand that you got no ape genetics. That's why when you look at their lips, they got the lips of an ape. Not you. Their lips are like ape. You scared their skin, they're pink. They're white.
What was that African genetic again? The one that you told me, the East African, the genetic that they did on the East African.
Okay, what about it? Say it again, Demore.
What was that East African DNA composition, genetic composition that you told me? It was some numbers, I forgot.
Oh, well, I told you the beginning of the first people on the planet are Igbo. You're Igbo. I mean, not Igbo. Bantu people is called E1, B1A. E1, B1A. That's the African.
The haplogroup EV38.
Not E1, B1A. Not EV. E1, B1A.
Oh,
E1, B1A.
Google is the one that is calling it the haplogroup EV38.
Oh, okay, they call whatever they want to call. I don't know. Trust their ass. But
yeah, but they say it's found in East Africa, so I just wanted to remember that. Anyways,
found out through all of Africa because you're the same people. E1, B1. I haplogroup. I'm E1, B1A. I'm in America, still Africa. So E1, B1A is the haplogroup of the African. That's why when who's that? Was that Jovish thing or somebody talking about what it is to be an African? I can be white. Oh yeah, but Jovish saying that bill. Yes, I can be white and be an African. No, you're not E1, B1A. No, just because you're born in Africa as a white European, you don't become an African. You don't have. You're not the haplogroup, as Demore said. Genetically, you're not an African. So an African can be born in Brazil. And he's an African, because that's what he is. Whether he's born in Africa or outside of Africa, African is your genetics. Not that you're just born on the continent. It's your racial group, your racial haplogroup. That's why I can go to Brazil and see a motherfucker look just like me or Demore. I know he's an African. I was like, hey man, you born in Brazil? You Brazilian? Yeah, he's an African Brazilian, but he's still an African first. His haplogroup is E1, B1A.
But white people in South Africa are not Africans. They are just white people in Africa. Yep. Yeah,
exactly. That's why I told you tribalism is stupid, because they're saying Kikuyu and the Lua and the Kamba and whatever goofy other tribes they are. You're E1, B1A. So your tribe is fake. You're the same people genetically. So when your mom said, Demore, you better marry a Kikuyu. Who's this Lua girl? Who's this, whatever the other goofy tribe? Who's this? Mom did the same to me. How dare you, nigga? Smack Demore across the head. How dare you? Your mom don't know genetically you are the same people. You're the same people. Sorry, not my fault. You learn that you're not different. You know, the Kikuyus are like this. You know, the Luas are like this. You know, the Kambas are like this. The Kalajins are like this. What? The same people? Hell no!
Yeah, so Different
Much love,
tribes.
guys.
We all love KFC, as Jibado is saying. So much love, family. See you tomorrow.
Much love, guys. Much love. You know, get this beat thing going tomorrow.
Okay,
Sound like a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. 1,000
good.
for 1 liter, for 1 kg.
Okay, well let's get it going. And when I get to
right.
Kenya permanently, and you get all stung the fuck up, don't call me. I'm gonna do like Seto's alcohol, man. I'm gonna hang up the phone and disconnect it.
Much love, family.